Hello and welcome. Unified service for data integration, data cataloging, semantic modeling, data warehousing, and virtualizing the workloads across SAP and non-SAP data. So the biggest advantage here is you are not just going to combine and bring in the data from SAP sources like S4HANA, ECC, but you can also bring in the data from cloud sources, even non-SAP sources like Big Data Query, Google Drive, Microsoft SharePoint, different sources you can bring in the data and store it here. So it offers the core capabilities as data warehouse capabilities, which is a secure environment for diverse data application and needs including real-time analytics and governance on the data. So governance is a very important part when it comes to your data. You want to store data and you want to store it securely so that colleagues across the organization who are intended to access the data, who are meant to or supposed to access the data, can have access to the data on the right time. In addition, we also have Connect, where we can connect a wide range of connections to SAP and non-SAP cloud sources, on-premise sources, including data lakes. So in this training, I will teach you how to connect with your S4HANA or SAP traditional BW or BW for HANA system, including some of the cloud systems like HANA Cloud and data lakes. So we also have different variety of connections available to connect and load our data. Then explore and model. So it offers a graphical low code, no code tool to self-service modeling needs for business users. So what is modeling? Once you bring in the data from different sources, the data is now distributed across multiple database tables and multiple sources. You have some sources which are remote sources and some sources which are replicated sources. So you would like to combine all of these data sources together to build a data model. A data model is essential part of reporting. Suppose you have transaction data and master data stored in two different tables. You bring in all together and now you build a data model. For example, a view, a graphical view, or a analytic model, which is then for the final consumption so that you can consume this data model and you can build the analytics on top of it. Finally, we have consumption. So it has a seamless integration with SAP's own software as a service solution called SAP Analytics Cloud. Apart from that, you can consume your data model, which you built here through different tools. For example, BigQuery or SAP Analytics Cloud or Microsoft Excel or Power BI or Tableau. Any of the sources can connect to SAP Datasphere and can consume the data. We also have public OData APIs to support consumption by the other client tools. So SAP also offers APIs through which we can simplify our consumption. So broadly, Data Warehouse Cloud, which was the old name, or the Datasphere, is a cloud solution to manage your end-to-end organization data. It is in a long run perhaps replaces your BW in the cloud. What can you expect in this training? So this 30-hour course is designed to start with product introduction. We will talk about what is Data Warehouse Cloud, Datasphere, its history, its uses, and the implementation strategy, whether to go with BW Bridge or you go with the hybrid implementation approach. Then we'll talk about Data Builder, where we will learn about the main data layer, the data builder layer, where you learn about bringing data from different sources and building your data sources. Like in traditional BW, you have DSOs. So you will provide data source objects, build data source objects using data builder, and you will also create your data portfolio. Then we have semantic modeling with data modeling, where you understand from business user point of view, how can you model the data, like creating analytic model, creating replication flows, yes, doing data jobs. A lot of these things you will learn. Finally, you have integration and administration, where you will learn how to build integration with different source systems, target systems, scenarios, integrating BW Bridge, and also administer and control your data and permissions. So this is the broad overview of this training, which is a complete package of end-to-end learning on Data Warehouse Cloud or Datasphere according to the certification exam. Now, what is our use case for today? So in our today's session, guys, we are going to learn and create a data model in SAP Datasphere for Walmart. So Walmart is one of the biggest retail giant in US, and they have lot of stores across US with large number of invoices being printed every day. Our goal is to build a simple OLAP report, online analytical processing report, and store all the Walmart data into the SAP Datasphere. Yes, into the SAP Datasphere. So that is what we will be doing. Such a real-time use case we will be following today. So let us go ahead now and see this in action. So I have already prepared the data. Now, please remember that I will also be sharing these data sets, this PPT, everything with you as part of our training. So what we will do in this process to support Walmart, we will do this in a 4-step process. First, we will log into SAP Datasphere system, which is a cloud offering. So you don't need to set up anything in your computer. It's as simple as Gmail. You open your browser, you open the system, and then you start working through it. Wow. Then we have create table, where we will learn how to create our data tables using Walmart data, Walmart invoices data. On top of it, I will build a view. So we will learn how can you build a graphical view within a low code, no code environment. And then on top, build an analytic model. So finally, once the analytic model is ready, we will consume this data which we have in our data sphere into our analytics cloud story. So this will be the end-to-end journey of this demo session today. So now let me move on to the system and take you through this journey. So this is our system. I have already created an account. In my next episode, I will teach you how can you get a free, yes, free system access for SAP Datasphere for yourself to unleash the power of your data, your company data, and build data warehouse or data sphere uh, data models in the cloud directly. So this is something which I will teach you in the next episode. That's a topic of our next class, where we will learn how can you access this system for yourself to build the data store. So now I'm going to go back on the left. We start with the data builder layer, and in the data builder layer is where we will build all our data models. Yes, data models. So let me show you my data set which I have prepared for you today. So we have Walmart sales invoices, Anubhav. That's my data set which I prepared for today. And you see we have invoice ID, branches, city, customer, gender. Yes, we have product line, unit price, quantity. Then we have tax, total, date, time, payment. Yes, a lot of these different properties are there for this data. Some of these properties are the master data, like the branch, customer, city, the data which very rarely change is the master data. And then we have the transactional or the KPIs, which are unit price, quantity, yes, gross margin, total, tax. These are the measures which are numbers which we will be analyzing from different perspective. So that's my data set I will be using. I'm going to switch over back to this data sphere system, and here I'm going to create a table. So I will just say import a CSV file for me, and then I will just select the file. I will give the address on my computer. This file will be shared with all of you as part of your study material. I click on upload, and you will see in a moment my data gets uploaded and a database table gets created in the cloud. Wow. So you can see it is uploading the data. The speed is quite good. And you see this is our data which we have got over here. The same Walmart data. System automatically detects what is your dimension and what is your measure. You can see the alphabetical symbol A, which indicates that these are your dimension data. These are your master data. Whereas on the other side, you see this quantity, these decimals, these are nothing but your measures. So system automatically detects what is a number and what is not a number, what is a master data. In addition, you have capability to basically delve into the data and look at the data distribution on the right side. You see how many males and females are there in total in this data set. Yes, you can also see here data distribution across different KPIs. And I literally don't want to do anything much on this at the moment. I can simply go ahead and deploy my table. So this is equivalent of creating a table in SE11 transaction code in SAP. So let's save this data name. So let's say tab Walmart invoices. So this is the naming convention I'm using, tab. In this training, we will learn best practices and naming convention also, which we need to follow in order to create our data models and semantic models. Click on deploy. This will then send the data into a cloud database, which basically behind the scene, they use a HANA cloud database. In the next episode, I will teach you the architecture of SAP Data Warehouse, so you can also understand how Datasphere stores its data, how it organizes, how can we create data federations, everything we will look at in the next episode. So now I've created the database table. Our next step is to create a graphical view, which is nothing but a model. So View provides security and abstraction of data. Let's say your database table contains 10,000 or 500 fields. Out of 500 fields, you just want to expose 10 fields, 6 fields, 80 fields. You could do that with the help of View. In addition, you can apply data security and data control. So let's go to the table. And now what I'm going to do is I will just drag and drop my table, which I just created, to build a graphical view. You can see the view has come. Let's go to the go to the view category by clicking the view, and I will mark this data as a fact data because it is transactional data. Yes, we have KPIs inside. Then we also open it for consumption. Consumption means we would like to consume this data in a report. So that's why I open it for consumption. Now you see it is giving me a small error that there is a validation message, and it says this is a fact type, and at least there has to be some measures which should be marked. So that we do not have at the moment. So I'm going to come down and I will mark some of the things as a measure. So let's make it as a measure. So change it to measure. So I can select multiple. So these numbers which you have, they are your measures. In the next class, I will also teach you what is the difference between a measure and a dimension in detail. Those who are new to data warehouse concepts, you will understand those topics in the next class. So we change it to measure now, and we correctly classify our measure. In addition, we have the aggregation to choose. If you want to change aggregation level, instead of sum, you want to go with mean, max, average, count. You can also do that quite easily over here for the aggregation settings. So how easy it is to build a view? Yes, that's how easy it is to work with the data sphere. Very low code, no code environment. Hardly there is any coding. Yes, we do have coding in advanced scenarios like replication flow where you want to use Python coding to do data manipulation. But apart from that, there is not much coding experience or much coding required to work with the data sphere. Let's put the view name. Let's call it as view Walmart DS dataset. And I will now click on deploy. So you can save. The save will basically save a copy of this object into the system, but the system is still not ready for use until unless we deploy. So deploy will trigger basically a DDL command to the cloud database where this object gets persisted. So let's deploy, and you see it is deploying my object. Deployment means basically activation. Like in traditional BW system, you build a data model and you click on activate button. It's very similar to that. So now we have this option for data viewer where you can immediately check the preview of the data. Yes. So you click on that and you will see the data preview will open for us. What data is there in our data model? We will be able to see that. So it's just giving a message that the columns are not chosen yet. It takes a few seconds to basically load our data and display the data to us. Yeah. Takes a bit of few seconds. After that, we will be able to see our data. You can also go back to the table and you can also click here this button to see what data is coming out of the table. So I think the data is missing. Let me go back to my table, tab _ Walmart invoices. and see if my data is there or not in my table. Okay, so when it comes to table, you can see all the column names, all the data types, all the categories, including the labels. All of this information is readily available for all of us when it comes to table. And if at all you do not have the data in the table, you can always upload the data depend on your need. So you can see we have the data. There's not a problem. So our next step is to create a analytic model that comes under business builder. So business builder is the semantic layer or the business layer where the business consultant who is a non-technical consultant can also create the data model and use it in the analytics cloud. So we can also create directly our analytic model through the view itself. So we go to the view, we go to the detail of the view, and there itself we have a button to create an analytic model. So that is mainly for consumption purpose. So this is called layered way of development. So now you see it is giving me option to create an analytic model, new analytic model. Let's save it as analytic model underscore Walmart underscore DS. So that's my model I have created and nothing much. I will just deploy my analytic model to this system now. So a analytic model is the one which is exposed out of the system. So a view will remain within the Datasphere system where you can apply the join selections, the conditions, your data security, everything you can do at the view level. And once you feel your view is comfortable, from the end user point of view, from the analytic perspective, you expose it as an analytic model, which will also allow you to do data tracing at later point of time. So now we have got the analytic model. It's time that we go ahead and build a story. So what you typically do in an organization is first you bring your data together, you do the modeling, then you create an analytic model, and then you consume. So for consume, we use SAP Analytics Cloud, and you can directly see that on the right side when I click, we have a button to launch SAP Analytic Cloud, which is another product offered by SAP to build that data analytics. I will cover also some part of Analytics Cloud as part of this training, as both are very much closely related, so that you can understand the end-to-end perspective of how data is being consumed and built as a reporting layer. So this is the system, so-called analytics cloud system. I have already before the class created a connection between Datasphere and Analytic Cloud system. So my Datasphere can give data to Analytic Cloud system. However, if you're interested, a dedicated training on Analytic Cloud, it is available at anubhavtrainings.com. So let me switch over to Analytics Cloud system. This is the Analytic Cloud system, which comes also for free for learning and training purpose. I will show you in our training in the next class how to set up both of these systems together for free. And over here in this system, I have already created a connection. So if I go back to connections, under the connection section, I have already created a connection. You see, this is the connection I've already created. It's a direct live data connection, which means any change which will happen to my data in the data sphere will reflect immediately to my analytic cloud. So I will teach you how did I created this connection as part of our training itself. But for now, let's build a story. A story is nothing but a dashboard. I will build a story with Canvas page to consume the information which we have. I will drag and drop my chart now. So it is again no coding, and it immediately asks me to choose my data model. Wow. So if you all remember, in our current system, we have created a data model. So I go there to this connection, and you see I can now find my analytic model Walmart DS. Wow. This is the exact one which we created few minutes ago together in the Datasphere system. I select that, and now it loads all the data live from the Datasphere system into the analytics cloud, which is my reporting layer. Wow. So let's move it up on the top. And now here we can choose dimensions and measures according to the need what we have, according to the business need. So I would like to show the total sales based on different customer type. So let's go and show total sales. based on different customer type. So for each customer type, how many sales is coming to me, to my business. So that is the total sales per customer type. And you see the data is very much visible right away to you coming live from Datasphere. Then next, I would like to also add another chart next to it. Let's add a chart. Yes. And then I will also show total sales by city. So total sales by city. Makes sense. I would like to change this chart type as a donut chart. Wow, that's beautiful. And now you see we have three cities, so-called Medley, Nepeo, and Yangon. These are the three cities data we have in the system coming live. Next, I would like to simply add a table control. So you can add table from the top as well. And then I will show the most important dimensions and measures. So we will show the city, customer type, the invoice ID, the product line, and we will show the measures. They are combined together to choose quantity, total, unit price, gross income. These are the important measures I want to show. Yes. So wow, you can see now all the data is popping up right over there on my screen. You can reorder the columns if you want. This is your final reporting layer where business can see your data. In addition, I can quickly do a linked analysis. So what I can do here, I can come back to the system and I can say, I want to do a linked analysis where whenever I select a particular customer type, it should filter my data in the entire chart. So we can do a linked analysis with the more option. And I say settings and I'll say all widgets with filter on data point. So now what happens when I click any particular customer type, you see the data is changing in the table as well as on the right side perspective. So just to prove that this is basically the live data coming from Datasphere, I would like to go back to my Datasphere, go to my table, my database table, which we created, and I will load some more data now to this data table. So this data I have received today morning from Walmart, and this extra data I have some additional information about more sales, and this is coming from sales from Wuhan, Shanghai, and Mumbai. These are the three cities which are additionally have come from Walmart for their sales. So I'm going to go back and we have option to upload more data from the file. I browse through this delta data which I've got. Look at this, how beautiful it looks. This is an additional data with Shanghai, Wuhan, and Mumbai. I import that to my Datasphere. You see, it was quite fast. It's done. And now our next step is to switch over back to the story and just do a refresh. So it means if my data was truly live, if my data was truly updated in Datasphere, I should now see those three new cities, Shanghai, Wuhan, and Mumbai, right here in this chart, because this chart is showing me the city-wise sales. Yes. So let me just go ahead and do a refresh here. You can also configure an auto refresh and just do refresh and voila, there you go. There you go. You can see we've got Mumbai, we've got Wuhan, and we've got Shanghai. So this is the additional data which has come in your data sphere. And right away, this data live is reflecting in your dashboard and reporting. In traditional ways, in traditional time, we used to have, you guys used to wait for a weekly run or a weekly job to finish to let this data refresh on the dashboard, but now that's all live and it's all cloud. You can now share this story with your fellow colleagues, with your friends, yes, with anyone directly on the cloud. You see the share button. Currently I'm in a trial mode, so this button is not enabled, but you can share this with the fellow colleagues. You can integrate with SAP Fury Launchpad. You can give it in a mobile phone as well. So they give a very beautiful mobile experience also for the users where you can view and see this data directly in the mobile phone. So this is how we can create and store our story as well parallel to the data sphere. So this is how we exactly play out with our data stories, data models, and all the orchestration of our data, and then finally do the reporting. Moving on to some of the FAQs which are asked by you in the chat window or by your seniors in the past. Do I need to have prior knowledge on BW for this training? Answer is no. We will cover introduction to BW for you. If you are absolute beginner with SAP or any data warehousing concept you are not aware, don't worry. I will be covering as if you are an intern just joining a company from a college. I will cover this training in such a way that you are a fresher out of college, you can understand this training. How is this course from Analytics Cloud? Very important question, because many of you attended my Analytic Cloud training. Yes, and I would like to know how is this course is different from that. So SAP Datasphere is a product used for data store, data governance, metadata schema, data flows, bringing the data from your on premise to cloud system. It is the main source system of the data. It is the hub of data where you store the data. But Analytics Cloud is more of a reporting tool, just to report the data. You consume the data and report it. Analytic Cloud cannot do replication flow, cannot do automatic jobs of replication, cannot do ETL. Also, the number of connection types offered in Analytics Cloud are way less as compared to Datasphere. Datasphere has way large number of options to bring in your data from different data sources. I am an BW or a BI consultant. Can I also learn SAP Datasphere? Certainly, yes, you can learn SAP Datasphere. Even you coming from on-premise world, as this is a new technology, believe me, I'm going to cover everything from scratch, from basics. In fact, even I'm going to tell you and teach you what is cloud, what is on-premise, how the cloud is different from on-premise. So all of this I will do it in such a layman way that even a non-SAP consultant or a SAP consultant who just started their career about like a month ago, like a week ago, they can also understand this training. So Anubhav, what's the duration of this course and what are the timings? So the duration of this course is basically 35 hours and the timing will be 7 to 9. I think there's a correction. It is 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. 9 a.m. That is the timing for this training every weekend, 2 hour every weekend, 7 to 9. That will be the timing for this training. So what about server access? So we will provide you the guidance to set up your free SAP Datasphere trial system for practice. This is part of our course itself. So in tomorrow's class, I'm going to show you this setup. How do you set up your free trial instance for Datasphere to practice this training along with me? Yes, that I will show it to you in the next class. So along with that, I will also show you how to set up Analytic Cloud system also for free. So this is something which we will cover in our next episode, which is planned tomorrow. Same time, it's a weekend batch, 7 to 9 a.m. Yes, this is the first batch which we have for Datasphere, as it's a completely new technology. At the moment, I hardly see there are any trainers available online to train on this training. Now, which version of Datasphere are we going to use? It doesn't matter, guys, because it is cloud and SAP auto upgrade their version in the cloud. So we don't have to worry about upgrades and everything. It is always the latest version which we use. As it's a cloud product, it is always default to be the latest. Would you also cover the integration with existing systems like BW, BW for HANA and S for HANA? Yes, we will cover all these integrations. So there was also a question, will you cover the integration? So yes, I will be showing you connection with BW for HANA, BW, S for HANA and HANA Cloud and Data Lakes. So all of that I will be covering as part of our training. Will BW get eventually replaced with Datasphere? No. In my opinion, it is a long journey, maybe down the line after 20 years, but not today. Today's scenario, most of the time companies are connecting BW together with Datasphere. So there are hybrid scenarios where they use hand-to-hand, both BW and Datasphere together in their company. Wherever they need to expose the data over the cloud, they do it with the Datasphere. Wherever they need to expose the data over the on-premise, they will use still the BW. So it is going to complement your BW system. Some companies who are going purely with a scenario which is basically a scenario related to a greenfield implementation, they don't want to go any on-premise. In that case, they go with pure Datasphere also. Yes. So maybe in a short time and medium time frame, it will not replace BW, but on a longer run, certainly yes. So can we integrate Datasphere with BW HANA loading? Yes, we can do that. There are two techniques. One is hybrid scenario. Second is BW bridge. Both of them are part of this training. I will be teaching both of it as part of your training. Can I take this course in video mode? Answer is no at the moment, because this is a first batch. But yes, if the timing doesn't suit you, you can opt for the current batch and you will get the video access right after the classes are getting completed. So today was first class, then tomorrow is the second class. As and when we progress, we will record videos and you can access those videos accordingly. Yes. Is BW Bridge live for the customers? Yes, it is. I will show you BW Bridge integration to you as part of this training. Okay. Will you cover reporting also using SAC? Yes. As I showed you in that demo, we will also cover reporting using SAC. I'll cover a basic introduction of Analytic Cloud and I will show you how to build reports using Analytic Cloud, which is an optional stuff. Maybe as a Datasphere consultant, you may not do this thing, but it's always a good opportunity to learn cross topics so you know where your data is being consumed. What are the tools we need to practice? Nothing. You just need a browser and internet connection. There is no tool, there is no extra tool required to be set up in your computer because it's completely cloud. It's completely cloud. Yes. Now, how to join this course? This course you can join by signing up and you can send an email on contact@anubhavtrainings.com. That's what we can do so that you can join this training. That's our official email ID. I will also give you in the chat window. You can send us an email at contact@anubhavtrainings.com that you are interested to join the Datasphere training and then you can get started today. But there are huge training videos by SAP. Are you covering more than that? So yes, I understand there are training videos on SAP, but some are outdated. And the second problem is things are not organized. If you go to the YouTube or some training videos, nothing is organized. And many times they are just copy paste, they are theoretical knowledge they are giving, there are panel discussions happening, but none of them give you a sequential way of learning. None of them give you a right process of learning. You see here and there some bits and pieces, but there is no flow in those videos. There is no information. You see some tech-ed lecture, some announcements, some people coming and chit-chatting over the video conference, talking big things. But literally in the system, are they showing you many things? Are they doing things in a right sequence, in the right manner, so you can utilize that knowledge in your project? So that is the main problem. So of course, knowledge is available. I am also personally learning everything over the internet. See, my source of learning is also internet. So you can definitely skip my training, go and learn yourself from SAP videos which are available over the internet. Yes, I will be covering the same stuff, but I will be covering in a more organized way. Yes, I will be covering in the right flow manner so you can cover things. Will you cover Python coding in detail? No. In detail, we will not touch upon Python coding, but basic Python coding I will cover. Yes, along with the data replication flow. What are the languages used here for data transformation? So we have SQL script and we have Python. These are the two of the dominant languages which we can use here for ETL processing when we create replication flow. Both of them I will be covering as part of this training. So you will get comfortable with both of them. Yeah. So that is what we will be doing. So having said that, that's the end of this demo session. Once again, thank you so much for joining this demo session today. And our next class is planned tomorrow. So tomorrow's session onwards, we will be starting our Datasphere system introduction. We'll talk about architecture and how to get started and how to set up your system properly. Yes. So